In Quebec, over 100,000 students, maybe as many as 160,000, are on what they are pleased to call a strike. In other words, they're not going to class. This used to be called playing hooky. You cannot strike unless you hold something back that someone else wants, typically your labor. Students in Quebec are declining to receive a service many of them have already paid for. I'm not sure what this should be called, but short-sighted is one term that suggests itself. Now, this strike or protest has been going on, as these things tend to, for a good while, and the numbers who show up in the city of Montreal are impressive. The cause, however, to cancel an announced increase in student tuition fees of about $350 a year for each of 5 years is not the trumpet blast of justice and equity the students may believe it to be. Quebec's tuition fees are the lowest in Canada. Its loan programs are generous and open. So it's not as if the Quebec students are cut off from the benefits of higher education. In fact, they have it financially easier than any other students in Canada. Recently, however, this protest took a wild turn. Threats, mayhem, and violence were the themes. Quebec cabinet ministers' offices were vandalized. Buildings were smeared with red paint. Full or failed Molotov cocktails were thrown through windows. One private citizen's home was attacked by mistake, whatever that's supposed to mean. Heaps of bricks were placed on subway lines. These were not and are not the actions of democratic protest. They are crude attempts at precipitating a crisis, and they are threats to life and limb. They are the actions of a mob, a resort to force and the threat or reality of violence. When protest takes that turn, it should plainly, without qualification, and calmly be condemned. It is simply wrong, and wrong not to say it's wrong. Some students in Quebec have condemned it. They understand what is right and wrong. Other student leaders are playing cute, neither condoning nor condemning because they say they have no mandate to do so. When protesters threaten, vandalize, use violence, and cause mayhem, they destroy their cause. No legitimate government can give in to a mob. No government can reward those who violate the fundamental codes of civil society. That rewards those who reject order as opposed to those who support and uphold it. We're lucky to have protests. Protests are good. Protests are healthy. But for some, they are a face mask for turmoil, for the hope that a little violence could be contagious and lead to more. Governments and citizens should not oblige this game. They should not let street bullies or self-styled diversity of tactics activists manipulate genuine protest or corrupt legitimate debate with willful violence. For The National, I'm Rex Murphy.